Yes. All right. It feels crazy because of the fact that we have episode 1 here.
Yeah.
But the reality of things is we rose like a phoenix. We have been reborn. I'm sure that there's all kinds of anime shit that you could add to this, sort of people being reborn and shit that I have absolutely no idea about.
You said Phoenix, and I just heard that you are nothing in my head. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro.
And they got PTSD for when I'm playing it and get no kills when that shit comes out. That is one of the worst ults in the game.
It's so bad.
I know that you got to add the sparks or whatever. Anyways, everybody, welcome back, man. This is not a Marvel Rival stream. This is Gridiron Apex, and we're back with not back, but I guess officially first episode of NFL Rush, man. You know what I'm saying? As I got to be correct here, you know, with everything. I'm everybody's favorite couch quarterback, Dante. For those that don't know, this is my man Sora, aka Goose. Everybody's favorite co-pilot. And this guy over here, this is a new guy on the block.
What's up?
This is Lincoln, man, aka Link. How you doing, man? Our West Coast brethren.
I'm doing pretty good. I think I had more time than I had to just watch the whole, like, a lot of players in preseason.
Yeah, it was I actually got to we did watch the Hall of Fame game, so I got to watch the full thing. And then in between me and my wife's escapades, we, you know what I'm saying? We actually watched a lot of preseason football, to be completely honest. So I ended up getting sick on my vacation. Like the last day of the cruise, it was, and my wife kind of yelled at me. She's like, "This is because you work from home and you're never around anybody." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
I got sick literally the day before my vacation.
And you had to drive, like.
Yeah. I very much Wednesday night, I was like, man, I feel like I'm about to throw up. So I did. And then I just kind of laid there and I was like, I got to get up at what time? 3:30? What time is it? 9? Okay. And then I got no sleep. And I was like, all right then.
Yeah, and sometimes it's like that, man. You know, you pray for the best, and you pray for the, you pray that you can make it through, and sometimes it just doesn't happen like that, man.
But Lord, please be with me today.
So shout out to the chat, man. Looks like my man Torque is in here. He said we back. My man Edwin. I don't know if you saw my comment on that other stream, but we tried to tell people he was in a Ram stream. I forget, was it Jake's stream? Anyways, Jake was one of those guys that was being a hater. Now he's I got receipts on that too. Being a hater on them drafting Ty Simpson's them as their backup quarterback. Not understanding.
Gotcha.
Not understanding, right? We're gonna get into quarterbacks in the actually. Let's just go. Anything y'all got to say before we get into the first topic?
No.
Nope.
Let's get into these reactions on these preseason quarterbacks. So there's a lot of people that have overreacted on everything, including myself, but it's all within the lens that you use, right? Some people get so totally enamored by the statistics that they see on ESPN and not understanding what happened between the hash marks because they don't watch preseason. Preseason doesn't matter. And we've told you guys for years. Let's take Marvin Harrison Jr. for example. When people say things don't matter, pro days don't matter, Senior Bowls don't matter, combines don't matter, but then we see these same people that say that shit on there posting the RAS scores of these players, and then Sonny Styles has a really bad preseason debut. Can I get an amen? I mean, this is just one of them things that people say that they don't matter, including our boy on the Rams side, right? So Edwin's in the chat, right? We had, Mr. Man talking about that Ty Simpson was this horrible pick. They could have got other. Look, can we sit up here and agree that? And I see Kenny Pickett. I was actually at that game when Kenny Pickett went off, and every single time he threw a pass, I'm looking at my wife. I'm like, "Ooh, y'all in for a rude awakening." This dude's stats are overinflated for what he did. I don't believe. I even told my sister-in-law one of the best decisions I've ever told her to make financially was to never buy a Kenny Pickett jersey. Can I get a amen?
Yeah, that was you stepping in and being like, "Don't do it."
Don't do it. But Ty Simpson was one of those guys that we told everybody to look. And Drew Aller, praise God. This is just turning to church for Dante.
I was sitting there. I look like I was the George Pickens memes just in front of the TV, like, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like, "You're free now from Andy Kotelnicki. You are free."
And it's so funny on that same broadcast. I forgot who the announcer was. I believe it was Charlie Batch. Charlie Batch had actually said, it's crazy what a good player can do outside of that measly Penn State offense. I said, just say Andy Kotelnicki.
I said, "You speaking my language, Charlie."
Yeah, you speaking my language, right? But let's get into it, man. Preseason quarterbacks. Who's the one that has kind of like just impressed you, or any thoughts on any of them?
I think mostly Ty Simpson, since he played the most, and I think he played throughout the whole game. I think throughout second quarter of the whole game. I think he did pretty good. Looks poised. And just overall, when people say preseason don't matter, it does matter because everyone's fighting for their life to be in the roster. Everyone's gonna try hard to stay in the roster. So basically, it does matter.
Yeah.
Every snap, every count. You could see in the Hall of Fame game where Kenny Pickett was just pissed that Haynes King was just playing over him. That just showed you that.
What a performance by Haynes King, man.
Yeah,
I was watching that game. I was with somebody, not to cut you off, Link, but I was with some buddies watching that, and they were like, "Who is Haynes King?" And I just kind of turned and just went, "I know nobody wanted to watch Georgia Tech football. I'm the only one that did, but man, let me tell you something.
Man,
the only reason Georgia Tech was ranked so high was because that man Haynes King put his body on the line.
Him and Jamal Haynes." Him and Jamal Haynes every game, bro. Every damn game. Yeah, I shed a single tear for my boy.
I was about to say that was a thug tear was shed that day for Haynes King.
Yeah, I think I got my life together where I can go and do this now. So, all right, let's get back to it. But yeah, man, Ty Simpson he threw the ball the most so far this preseason out of any of the. I think out of every quarterback, has the most passes so far. But every throw he made, well, not every throw, but the majority of the throws that he made, I'm like, how can we just sit up here and just not understand that this dude literally carried Alabama and now it's showing up on the film?
Yeah.
Now.
And what's crazy too with Ty Simpson is it's like, a lot of people, obviously, when the first pick happens, nobody knew about the Myles Garrett thing happening. It was, a lot of people were mad at it being the 13th overall pick. But again, you look at it of Matt Stafford getting him ready for eventually when Matt Stafford leaves. But I don't think a lot of people looked at it of Matt Stafford being 30 plus years old. If he goes down, were you really confident in somebody like Stetson Bennett taking over? You watch Ty Simpson this last preseason game, and yes, still, he still looked like a rookie where, some things like he looks a bit rattled at times, but also you looked at him and you go, yeah, that's an NFL quarterback that if Stafford has to go out for a game, a couple of weeks or something along the lines of that, you're not entirely too worried if you're a Rams fan.
And this is what we've been trying to tell Rams fans for the longest time. Like, dude, if you're banking on the next draft of quarterbacks, right? And we all understand the caliber of those dudes that are coming out. But to me, there's nothing says that you can give a leg up on a guy like Ty Simpson right now that has just come off of carrying his team going into an NFL offense where he's going to be totally dialed in because he sat behind Bryce Young and the rest of those guys. And so he can wait his turn, which is very valuable for a coach to know that this guy's willing to learn. And then you have guys on the internet that are just constantly like, well, I don't know if Ty Simpson can. I don't know why we wasted a pick on him when he's going to look like a number one quarterback next year on your roster when Matt Stafford goes in there and hoists the Lombardi Trophy this year. And nobody's going to bat an eye when the offense is still steamrolling people. And so just because people don't see the vision right now doesn't mean that it was a bad decision by what the Rams were doing. This regime has totally changed around itself on how it's organizing its whole organization. So
especially when you look at the, what was the method of the last time that the Rams won the Super Bowl? F them picks. They secured a quarterback to be a backup this year or the next 2 years if Stafford goes down, and then eventually be the future face of the franchise, while also trading picks away that they would have used to eventually get a franchise quarterback to get, the best defensive player in the NFL in Myles Garrett. So you got, reigning defensive player of the year, as well as a future quarterback, for your franchise. And again, as we've seen in the preseason, looked really good. Didn't really panic. His pocket presence that we've seen from, Alabama, where he was constantly on the run and constantly moving around, it still showed that he can carry that into the NFL. There wasn't a lot of panic. And also, that touchdown throw to Dean Connors, first of all, shout out to Dean Connors, because Ty Simpson, Dean Connors, that sounds like a NCAA like fantasy team that I would have made in the EA games. That was beautiful to watch.
Yeah, Dean Connors, an underground favorite here.
Yeah,
we've been watching you since Rice, sir. We understand who you are. Don't get it twisted.
We ain't gonna talk. Version would kick my ass constantly.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
We ain't gonna talk about the weird ass transfer that you did from Rice to Houston, which is only like 10 miles down the road. But we ain't gonna say anything about that. We know the caliber of player that you are. Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. I think people just need to. If a team has had success like the Rams for this long, it's about trust the process. And, the Eagles just had, they did it with drafting Jalen Hurts. Didn't they draft Jalen Hurts in the second round?
Yeah, they drafted Jalen Hurts in the second round, 53rd pick.
I think I think Carson Wentz was also in his MVP.
Yeah, and they traded Sam Bradford away immediately after Carson Wentz.
Yeah. So if anybody knows about it, it's the Eagles, and it got them what? 2 a Super Bowl appearance and a Super Bowl win, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And ever since Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts have gone to the playoffs every year as head coach and starting quarterback.
So, I just don't understand what some people just don't understand about this. Joey Fagano, that's our guy from UConn, man, coming in for the Baltimore Ravens. And I just got done watching the film this morning. Shout out to the Matthew Hibner edit that I put together. Hopefully you guys are enjoying those videos with the diagrams and stuff. It's just a lot easier to watch for a lot of people. But yeah, I got to watch him sling the rock too. He was the highest rated quarterback on PFF, I believe, so far out of all the rookies. So, yeah, I mean, he was out there slinging the rock too. I think statistically he threw the most yards too. But yeah, Joey Fagano's doing this thing.
Drew Allar was. Already. Did not know that.
Nah, I think the last time I checked it, it was Joey Fagano that
Probably.
was number one. What quarterbacks am I missing? Oh, Drew Aller, right?
Yeah.
Talk about Drew Aller a little bit, man.
Man, there was one of the biggest rookie quarterback winners of the weekend, man. Again, we know this is Aaron
smile
Rodgers.
from ear to ear, brother.
Oh, dude! I was the meme of George Pickens just standing at the TV. I was like, this is exactly what we saw and exactly what we said, man. Ever since, not ever since before the combine, but I think we started the speculations of him to Pittsburgh just makes sense at the combine about around that time, because it just seems like a Mike McCarthy pick. And, as we saw this preseason game, it's been playing out as well. I don't think the encouraging part of the whole thing of, his whole debut was like, oh, his yardage or his touchdown. Obviously, the dead target onto Winjet for that 76-yard run all the way up to the 1 yard line.
Yep.
But I think it was more so, it was the fact of how he commanded the offense.
Exactly.
It didn't really look like a shaky rookie quarterback. He was there. He was large. He was in charge. And I think that, Will Howard looked pretty good, but I think that one gives him a step over Will Howard.
He was large and in charge?
Oh, I was like, what?
No. Lincoln, what did you think before? I got a lot of thoughts on.
I mean, I've been
this.
telling I've been watching Drew Aller ever since I think during his his peak years in Penn State, were before he got injured. I think it was 2024.
Cold Nicky era.
Yeah, before the Cold Nicky era. And then I was just like, there's no way he looks this bad, because it's just kind of it's just the way people just calling him trash, and I'm just like, there's no way. Because
Yeah.
and everybody was just trashing on him so much, and I was just like, there's no way, because I have him as my 1, and I have Tyson in second, and Mendoza is my 3rd. And then to the point where it was just I watching through training camp, and Mike McCarthy's doing all the work of just fixing his footwork and everything. And I was like, he's gonna look good. I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man. I think Ty Simpson got the. How can I put this? Ty Simpson and Carson Beck were kind of in a similar situations when it comes down to the Dylan Thieneman pick when Oregon came to their house in overtime and he threw that pick and everybody was like, "Oh, don't matter. I don't give a fuck about what Drew Aller did this whole game. He's ass." Right. And that's not necessarily you can't necessarily just put all the eggs in the basket. And that's exactly what happened to Carson Beck in the national championship. And of course he had some other times, but people don't look at, Carson Beck was 18-4 against top 25 teams in his whole damn career. But we're all looking at him as this mediocre quarterback. And then he comes out there with a ton of experience and is the first quarterback this preseason that we're talking about. Right. And me and Lincoln jumped on the show that day and told you guys I was more surprised by Haynes King because we got to see him actually throw the ball. Right. He didn't panic and have to rely on his legs. But Carson Beck commanded the offense like he was a veteran quarterback. The thing about People could get pissed off. But I don't give a shit. The thing about Fernando Mendoza and what Drew Aller did, to me, are on two totally different spectrums. Fernando Mendoza had like 2 great throws. And everybody's like, wow, that's an NFL throw. Well, he's in the fucking NFL now. So I would expect him to make those goddamn throws. Like, especially against the backups. You know what I'm saying? Like, if this dude was a Heisman winning quarterback and had all the talent that we talked about, but became haters all of a sudden, even though we were talking about Fernando Mendoza 3 years ago, we knew that the kid was talented. But the maturation process of going through the whole draft and realizing that, wow, we have Drew Aller here that can fucking sling it, bro. And he looks poised at times. But then Andy Kotelnicki will run 6 running plays and then tell him, you know what? Go out there and throw a backside fade right now. And it's like, well, dude, my arm ain't even warmed up. You're not even going to let me. You're not. Right. Let's get into the short game. And what did the Steelers do? Short game, short game, short game, short game, short game. Get us down the field. If you need to run the ball on this read option, do it, Drew, because we know that you have some athleticism. And I think that's the one thing I can almost thank Andy Kotelnicki for, is like kind of getting them in the mode of like, you're more athletic than you were. Because coming out of high school, he was a pocket guy. But the one thing people just tend to ignore is kind of like pitchers in baseball. If this dude's arm is not warmed up, how do you expect him to go out there and make the routine throw after routine throw after routine throw that the Fernando Mendozas of the world are making? And you can't compare the situations. Yeah, he had Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen, but then guess who was their third running back? Drew was their third running back. So this is what I was saying. Like, when people don't understand the dynamics of like Andy Kotelnicki coming from Kansas, coming to Penn State, who is his quarterback that always got hurt until he left? Jalen Daniels.
I keep wanting to say Jaden, but yeah, Jalen.
The parallels, and he's back at Kansas, so whoever that I forgot whoever their quarterback is, man. Praying to God for you every day, brother, because it has not looked great for any quarterback that's been under center for Andy Kotelnicki at this point. They eventually just always get hurt. But I love the fact that he commanded the offense. He looked like an NFL quarterback, bro. I don't know.
I also really liked how confident he was in the pocket, because again, it was very much the run when you need to run, but in the pocket, composed, worked on the short game, and I feel like that kind of silenced some of the criticism, because I would say that it wasn't the fact that he lacked physical ability. We know that he's got arm talent. We know that he can run the ball, but it was more so of like I guess a lot of people questioned the decision making that he made, and I feel like again, this first preseason, a lot of those doubts were kind of silenced.
Facts. I'm gonna read you a little something that I posted on Twitter, and I think both of you guys have seen it. In my final breakdown on my draft guide, here's one of the things I said. I said, here's the best way to put out Aller's potential. Do not let him go. Do not let him go and sit behind a Jared Goff or Matthew Stafford. Here's why. Those quarterback time is almost up in this league. The best way to pass the torch is to pass it to a traditional quarterback like Aller with the escapability that both of them have. The best part of Aller's game is his ability to go through his progressions. If his feet are set and there is a difficult throw to make, he will make you pay every single time. Don't let the right team draft Aller. It will be hell to pay. So when I compared Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford, I'm also throwing Aaron Rodgers in the same category. Yeah. Like, you just have to assume that this is the situation that I was talking about, right?
Especially when he, after weeks and, even before like only a couple of days leading up to the draft, it was like, is Aaron coming back? Then, he comes back on the 1-year deal and he states like, this is my last year. So, and again, I feel like Pittsburgh's got probably one of the best situations at the quarterback right now. You've got Aaron Rodgers, who can probably, will you to maybe the playoffs, maybe even winning the division, depending on how things go. And behind him are 2 very young quarterbacks that are battling to be able to take the torch, Will Howard and Drew Aller. And it's, it's kind of funny as well that we said you mentioned Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff. And two of the guys that we were very high on, 2 out of 5 of the guys that we were very high on, and Ty Simpson and Drew Alar, went exactly to the situations that we said would be best for them to learn under somebody that's getting ready to leave, like an Aaron Rodgers and a Matthew Stafford.
But here's the thing that's so unique about the Steelers situation is exactly what you said. So let's get down to the grains of this, right?
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is on his way out. And Aaron Rodgers, out of Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford, has a little bit of an ego where he might not always pass everything over. So which is going to fire the other 2 quarterbacks out because they're going to try to pay attention to everything that he does because they know the information is limited.
Yeah, but look at Jordan Love as an example.
Yeah, but even more so this year, we already know it's his last year, so he's been more willing to do that. We saw him on the sidelines doing that. So that's valuable, and that's kind of what they would get, or that Drew would have got with the other 2. But here's the X factor. Will Howard is a quarterback that Drew knows because they played against each other. Mm-hmm. Will was in a particular situation, coming to the Steelers, being in the same situation, but Drew is there now to push Will, but we all know Will is not as talented as Drew. So with that being said, is now you have the veteran who's a little gatekeepy, but willing to give information out that it's his last year. You have Will, who's not gatekeepy, but is your direct competition because he's the youngest guy there fighting for a position. And then you have you as Drew Aller that's getting all the hype, that got drafted, that's from the air, that played in the area. People are hyped for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like a recipe. Oh, and he's from Medina, Ohio, which is not that far away from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of positives riding for him. And then
you even saw how crazy the stadium went when he got drafted.
But here's the other part of it. There's one more puzzle piece to this equation. I don't know who Mason Rudolph is favoring in this offense as far as giving information to. And it's probably Drew. I mean, if I was the guy that was like, man, I sat behind some good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I even went to other teams to try to be the starter. I just wasn't that guy. Just like I compared Mason Rudolph as just Shador Sanders to me. I said that, and now everybody gets it. But it just depends on where Mason is in that maturation process. But he can be a mediator for Will and Drew and being like, dude, this is what you got to do at this level. And he's probably more willing to give information, which he's a veteran too. So they have one veteran who's an all-star, or who was an all-star. You have another veteran who knows what it's like to be the number 2. You have a third guy who was drafted to come in to be the backup and possibly move it to the start. And then you have Drew, the hot hand that's really propelled himself now. So
absolutely.
I mean, Will played his ass off too. Let's not.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you had both. If I'm a Pittsburgh fan, I'm walking away with that. There's real quarterback competition at who's going to be the quarterback next year, and I'm fairly confident in these 2 young guys.
Yeah, I am too, man. Any other rookies that we maybe glossed over? Jalen Daniels played his ass off the other day. I mean,
yeah,
came in, looked really good.
I also, kind of last thing that I want to add about the, the Steelers and all that. I kind of want to pose the question of, you mentioned Aaron Rodgers being a bit gatekeepy, and this is factual, obviously, but with this last year, we've kind of already seen how he is. The whole Pat McAfee talking about Fauci, and he's more like, I just don't care anymore. What are you gonna do? But I also wonder if it's just because now, if he's willing to give up more information because of Mike McCarthy being the head coach instead of LaFleur when that happened. Because obviously, they won the Super Bowl, McCarthy and Rodgers, and also, of whatever Rodgers is gatekeeping, do you think McCarthy knows and he's just teaching them there? Or he's just teaching them that information, I should say.
I don't know. What do you think, Link?
I don't know, because it might be like, I think for Mike McCarthy, I think he might have Howard behind, but I don't know because it's close. It's because like when I see Howard, it's like high floor, but when I look at Drew Aller, it's like high ceiling.
Yeah. Ah, man. It's a unique situation.
Yeah, because I can see Mason Rudolph being as a quarterback 3, but I can see
I see Mason Rudolph doing kind of similar to like what Josh McCown was, kind of like an emergency quarterback, but he was the veteran guy, you know? He came in when he was needed to. He was like, I don't want to say he was the emergency quarterback because that's more so dating back when the NFL had it with COVID of like, hey, here's your emergency quarterback, and that's what he was for the Eagles. But it was like, you know, McCown is still able to impart his wisdom. I mean, hell, he's a quarterback coach now, and that's kind of what I think of Mason Rudolph. He knows that he's not going to be a starter. He knows that potentially he may be a QB2 or a QB3. I think he's kind of more so embraced the teaching role, and when his name is called on, if his name is called on, that's when he kind of steps up.
Yeah. Torque said, let the boys play at least one more preseason game before we pick the Steelers quarterback of the future.
I know Torque was fuming watching Drew Aller play. He said, this can't be.
That boy said.
I know. He was fuming. He was mad.
You ever seen the Spider-Man meme where he's walking away and all the destruction's happening behind him? He's just got his head down.
That was, I can't believe it. Gridiron Apex. They tried to tell me.
Strike again. Yeah, I mean, it is. We have to be honest. All of this is overreaction. We totally get it. But it's only overreaction when you don't know what you're looking at either. Because I said it on Twitter. If you're watching stats and just think that guy was great versus watching what Drew Aller did by commanding the offense or what Ty Simpson did by commanding the offense and looking comfortable, we got to stop giving the thing that I hate with people is when you can be nitpicky in the process. And I'm nitpicky in the process. That's why we hit on a lot of players. You have to be nitpicky, and you have to know what you're looking at. But when you're nitpicky in the NFL, and then you start giving excuses of, well, look at who the receivers are. Look at who his offensive line is, because that's the thing about Ty Simpson. His offensive line is supposed to always block good. But also, when Geno Smith with the Raiders last year was getting in fights with the fans and just playing uninspired, and everybody knows the relationship between him and the coach where it's, oh, this guy's like my son. I don't know if the offensive line was more willing to block for that guy than they would be for having respect for Matthew Stafford and trying to work themselves up to being able to block for that guy and being able to, you know, in that situation, knowing if I block well for Ty, I'm finding myself in another position to block for Matthew and being part of the starting line and winning the trophy. So to me, it all starts with the attitudes of who you're playing for, because there are some petty ass players, bro. I mean, I literally, when I was in high school, I got in a fight with our guard, and he had let a guy just come and cream me, bro. Hey, yo, pause. But just let this guy through, and then that same play, I went up to him, and I was like, I grabbed him in his face mask. I said, you just let that shit happen, didn't you? And I went to the coach. I'm like, you saw that shit, right? He just let that shit happen. That dude shouldn't be on this team. I don't think Geno was like that. But you know who is? And we've seen do it before? Matthew Stafford. He going to command that whole offense to play together. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. There's like levels to everything. And why did the Steelers offensive line with Broderick Jones playing at left tackle block so well now? They suck balls the last couple of years. Yeah. And they looked good when Drew was in there.
I think it's been, 3 of the last 5 or 6 first-round picks have all been offensive linemen.
They just been striking out,
because every single time it doesn't. Maybe it's finally panned out. Maybe the process has been 6 years of this.
Maybe. Yeah, it's crazy, man. Let's get into the next thing, man. Another quarterback that we tried to tell people about. And this one hurts. I mean, this one hurts for several different reasons. Let's go down on the reasons. Reason number one, let's just get the obvious out the way. Anthony Richardson is such a likable motherfucker.
Yeah.
He is. He's a good dude. He's a likable guy. He stays out of trouble. Number two, watching this dude, and what was it, sort 2002, 2003? Watching this dude at Florida, or 2023? Yeah, sorry.
That's supposed to say,
Watching this dude at Florida the first couple weeks, we were like, we were putting the 15 in the Heisman and all that shit.
Yeah, bro. That week one against Utah, man, defense couldn't do anything until the very end. And again, you see him go for this amazing, like, basically make or break 2-point conversion, and he's stiff arming one dude. And he's like spin move juking another guy, like throwing the ball for a 2-point conversion while the guy's like hanging on him, and you're like, that's a Heisman play right there. You're looking at it and you go, that's athleticism. You know, that's the athletics that Anthony Richardson has. Because, like, we know the dude is a freakish athlete, bro.
I'm not. If Anthony, just put it like this: if you're at the gym and you go in the lockers, and Anthony Richardson is posing in the mirror, that's probably not a dude that you want to piss off. No. Just let him pose, bro. Don't even look. Because if you look, it might trigger him, bro. Out of respect,
bro.
Out of respect. Everybody keeps showing the one throw he made his rookie year and saying that this could be. We gave up too soon on Anthony Richardson. No, Anthony Richardson gave up too soon on his fucking self by coming out of college. I say this once, and I'll say it again. I'm putting this shit on a t-shirt, bro, because people just don't understand what I'm talking about. Even my wife understood. We was on vacation, and I said this. I said, babe, I keep telling these motherfuckers, they keep falling for the same shit every year. The NFL is not a developmental league. No. It's not, bro. We got to get out of this mindset that people are going to come and develop. There was no development for Justin Herbert when damn Tyrod Taylor got his shit punctured. Justin Herbert had to come in there and be like, I ain't getting none for the ones. Because remember that was the thing about Shador. Oh, he didn't run with the ones. Neither did Justin Herbert. But motherfucker came in there and it's been great.
Baker Mayfield didn't when he started.
When people are good.
Jalen Hurts didn't when he started.
Exactly. When people are good, they're just good. You guys are giving these guys excuses. But you know what? Justin Herbert came out when he needed to. Jalen Hurts came out when he absolutely had he did everything that was told to him. Tua's gonna come in and start over you. Cool. I gotta be a great teammate. Was a great teammate. Jalen, you need to go transfer and be under Lincoln Riley so you can actually learn how to throw the ball. Cool. He did. There's a reason why some of these players are at the top of their echelon in the league when they come in already. And this is one of the very first viral videos I made was like, oh, Jalen Hurts is going to be the starter. And people are like, man, what you talking about? It's Carson. I said, no, Jalen Hurts is going to be your starter. And he's probably going to win the Super Bowl.
Especially after all
absolutely right.
You know, there was already this slate of Carson Wentz injuries. And this was before he, kept continuing to get injured. And again, Jalen Hurts has had a relatively clean bill of health throughout all of it. High school, college, NFL.
Yep. So I'm saying all this to say you can point out, oh, he's younger than Bo Nix. He's younger than Shador. He's younger than all these dudes, which is crazy to think about. But also on the other token, what does that tell me? That he should have stayed in college longer. And he probably should have transferred somewhere that wasn't under Billy Napier. Because the one thing that, what's his name had when he came over from Wisconsin, what was his name? He just got hurt.
Graham Mertz.
When Graham Mertz came over from Wisconsin, he had been through the rough and tough of being at Wisconsin. So when he came to Florida, he's like, I want to be a thrower of football, not just fucking hand the ball off and run myself. And so he already had a little bit of arm talent, which we saw, and everybody was surprised. We were up here defending Graham Mertz. Like, oh shit, we were calling him trash for a long time. He comes and he's like, no, I'm an actual quarterback. But these are the things, like, he didn't have the experience. And what the NFL told everybody and why scouts are so bad at their job in the NFL, He's big. He's got the arm. He's a great guy. He's going to be a great quarterback. 4th overall. Fuck it. Put it in.
Send it.
And it just never panned out.
Do you think that like him just requesting trade is just like showing like ego off that saying he could be a starter? Because like the way I'm seeing him, he's like, I don't think he's ready, and the way he's just playing this preseason too.
Here's the thing, and here's also another list of what I want to add of like Anthony Richardson being a good dude is like, yes, he has requested the trade. It hasn't gone through the way that he wanted to, but he still has shown up. He's like, he's not pouting his arms and like lying on a bench asleep during the game. He's still a quarterback for the Colts, and if his number is called up, then he's going to execute. I mean, we've seen it, in the preseason game that was played. I think it's more so he just needed somebody to do, again, exactly was what Nick Saban did with Jalen Hurts, of just, this is the game plan we have for you. Okay, follow it through. Obviously, you've seen, the accolades that Jalen Hurts has done. You see where he is now. And I think being younger, because he's only 24, I think being, a very young guy in the NFL, and this is what, his fourth year, so he entered in, 20, at 20, not even football is developing. You as a person are still developing.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of affects it. And again, all through high school, throughout college, didn't really have much of a winning record. And I agree, I think he absolutely, as much as, I liked Anthony Richardson as a person, he should have absolutely went to transfer to a different school under Billy Napier.
He should do what Cam did.
Exactly. And I think, and it's going to be a very interesting conversation for the upcoming season, but DJ Lagway, like, even his footwork alone has looked way different at Florida when he escaped from Billy Napier, and he went to Baylor of all places, but he's looked a lot better now than we really kind of saw at Florida. Granted, it's only training clips. It's, week 1 against Auburn. We'll see what happens. Hopefully Baylor just dominates Auburn. But, I think you kind of look at two sides of the spectrum. Anthony Richardson, who was under Billy Napier, looked terrible, but because he was told that it was pretty much told, and he knew that he was going to get drafted high because of his athletics, went to the draft, and now is in this situation of fighting for quarterback 2 or 3 versus DJ Lagway. Granted, he wasn't draft eligible, but when Billy Napier was gone, he took a different position, took a different outlook, and has looked better in the few training clips that we have seen. So I think it's going to be kind of interesting to weigh how both of their like early careers go.
Yeah.
Doesn't that put like a question on like how like Shane Steichen, because I remember like they call him like the quarterback whisperer, or like,
yeah, but they also call Kevin O'Connell the quarterback whisperer.
Yeah.
I think
only one man truly deserves quarterback whisperer, and that's Lincoln Riley.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Nobody can ever say that they're a quarterback whisperer unless it's Lincoln Riley, in my opinion. Or, I mean, let's be honest, Kyle Shanahan's the only other one. I mean, every quarterback that comes through there goes pretty far in the playoffs. So, I don't know. But, yeah. I think Shane Steichen, instead of saying quarterback whisperer, he's a great offensive mind. He just is. So he deserves a lot of credit for what he does on an offense, but we need to take the quarterback moniker away from him. Maybe he's a good molder of already established quarterbacks like Kevin O'Connell is. Like, we can kind of give him that title, but
yeah,
I think the experiment of like trying to mold a guy like Anthony Richardson and make him your own, like, I don't. You can't call yourself that.
I think the argument of quarterback whisperer ends when you look at, like, Daniel Jones had flashes. He had promise at the Giants. He was just in an awful situation. The Colts at the time are a way better situation. Are we going to give, Shane Steichen the quarterback whisperer credit, or Shane Steichen the offensive mind credit?
Yeah. I agree with you here, Torque. Like, I'm excited to see Daniel. I'm excited to see what this offense looks like this year. I'm an Alec Pierce guy.
Allen.
I think that was the best thing for Alec Pierce too. Like, make him believe that he's a number one guy, but also bring a veteran in that can help him get to the next level too. Because he's battling some injuries right now. But the one thing that the parallels between him and Daniel Jones, with Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones, is you have a guy that can actually throw the ball and probably run the ball as well as you can on his best day. I mean, let's be honest. They used to, what they call Daniel Jones, Vanilla Vic for a little bit.
Vanilla Vic, yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't need you, Anthony, because we already got the guy that can do that. You look more explosive at times, but
I was about to say, I think that's the, Daniel Jones, in comparing their running ability, Jones and Anthony Richardson. Daniel Jones is smarter when he runs. Anthony Richardson is very explosive. He'll take a hit, he can dish it back. Yeah, he'll do dives, flips, all that to gain all the yards that he can, but he's more of a risk with the ball doing that. Versus Daniel Jones, who will just slide or just step out of bounds to avoid taking the hit.
Yeah, and that comes from all the injuries he had too. So he's probably
that too. But Anthony Richardson's been injured.
Broke his neck.
Yeah, I mean, fair. But again, Anthony Richardson's been injured a lot. You would think as well he would follow suit.
And actually learn from Daniel Jones, who is pretty much his archetype outside of the strong ass arm that he has. But again, just like we said in the draft process, just because you can hit the top of the practice facility doesn't mean that you're a good quarterback. Just because you could throw it long, Zach Wilson, and everybody's like, ooh, that shit was awesome, doesn't mean that you're a good quarterback. Just because your name is Sanders doesn't automatically mean that you're going to be a great quarterback.
I'll never forgive Eagle fans for saying that we should have, when we had 3 first-round picks, should trade all of them to get Zach Wilson instead of giving Jalen Hurts a true chance to start. I remember those people.
I ain't see that shit at all, bro.
Oh, it was a dark time.
We ain't even going to talk about, Isaac Wilson. I saw that motherfucker in person. That was not good. His brother sucks balls, bro. Go ahead, Lincoln. I know you was about to say something.
I feel like the best situation he could probably try to go under a new management, probably maybe the 49ers, because Sam Darnold came from the 49ers and became a backup and third string and just sat and learned.
Let me actually back you up there. Sam Darnold with the Panthers had one of the best 4-week stretches when he came in at the end. So I don't know. I think it started. Wasn't he under Frank Reich then?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So then you had Frank Reich to Kyle Shanahan to Kevin O'Connell. So you had 3 quarterback guys to get yourself back right. I think, I'm going to just be honest. I think the Vikings are a bunch of dumbasses. They let 2 guys go, and they did well the next year. One won a Super Bowl. One was on his way to a Super Bowl if he didn't get hurt. The Colts are the best team in the NFL.
Man, if it was a Colts Seahawks Super Bowl, call any Viking fan you know. Any Viking fan you know if that were the scenario. There's one multiverse where that happens, and everybody in Minnesota is just on watch, bro.
But I think he could come back. I think he just needs to be in the best situation. Just don't be like Trey Lance. Just go to San Diego, and now he's at the Cowboys. Now he's at San Diego.
Yeah. With the way that these rookies, the thing that doesn't look great for Anthony Richardson is how well these rookies have played their first week of the preseason. And the rookie class is coming next year. Who's going to want to waste a backup role for Anthony Richardson and trade for him when that's the case right now? When literally people have drafted a quarterback that's sitting on the roster and they're kind of thinking, hey, what's your face? We're going to let you start this next game because these rookies have been balling out. There's something in the water right now. Maybe you might be able to ball out. Edwin says, if AR were to get traded this season, who do you think will do it, or do y'all think he'll be gone from the league?
I think an interesting one, again, kind of somewhat following the path of what Sam Darnold was, and even Baker Mayfield, of where you've got a couple of backups, your backups, but you're mainly learning from the coach. I think if he went to the Titans to learn under Brian Dable, because I feel like his intangibles, like his height, weight, all that is very similar to Josh Allen. Brian Dable, very familiar with that. And then after he kind of gets some coaching from Brian Dable, I can see him maybe learning under what few years are left of Jared Goff and Dan Campbell and the Lions, or if Baker walks, maybe to Tampa.
He needs to go somewhere where there's true competition in the room. And the reason why I say that is, if right now he's been under the impression of I'm the starter, to let's bring in Phillip Rivers, to other quarterbacks coming in, getting drafted, to now we have Daniel Jones who cooked last year. We just paid him a contract, and yeah, you're never starting for this team ever again. So his psyche's already fucked up. Let's just be completely honest about this situation.
I think he needs
it's
to
destroyed. He needs to reset to. I don't think it's necessarily the Canadian Football League or the UFL. I'm not gonna say we're gonna take it that far, but I do agree with the Titans thing, because he'll never start because Cam Ward is there, but maybe. Because if Cam Ward looks like doo-doo berries like he did in that first game. Look, I'm not a Cam Ward apologist. I don't care how much talent the dude has throwing the fucking football. I've never seen it. So I'm not going to sit up here and say that, oh, Cam Ward's going to come out and beat his. Cam Ward is 14 interceptions away from being benched because he wanted to force the ball downfield and look amazing when he does it.
I think also you look at the coaches. Robert Saleh, former NFL head coach, fired, was an embarrassment
getting your
for the
ass.
Jets. Yeah, and we'll also get in your ass. And then again, Brian Dable, amazing offensive mind, former NFL head coach, that was a complete embarrassment. You think those two are going to risk their careers for Cam Ward again? This is both of them are on redemption arcs right now.
But then also the other part of that sort is like Brian Dable and them, especially Brian Dable. You have a coach in Robert Saleh who doesn't want to lose his job again, so that's number one. And Brian Dable is trying to find himself a job again, but also is very hard and very critical of the quarterbacks that he has. So I don't even know if they would even entertain a trade for Anthony Richardson now that I think about it. Like, they're throwing their eggs in the basket of Cam Ward because of all the talent. And it's like, Brian Dable is like, if I can unlock just this, we're going to be good. But I'd rather, if I'm in Brian Dable's show, I'd rather be in that situation with a risky quarterback like Cam Ward than what I've seen from Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, I guess it's just more so I look at what their depth is, though. You've got Mitch Trubisky, who, granted, has worked with Brian Dable, so there's already trust there.
Will Levis.
Yeah, Will Levis, and then Hendon Hooker, primarily as a camp body. Out of, Trubisky I can understand, but between Levis, Hendon Hooker, who is a camp body and his legs are shot, or Anthony Richardson, I don't know. I feel like I'd entertain that. Because, again, you look at the trust that you already have with Trubisky, and then, again, Richardson having the same metrics as Josh Allen. Not the same talent or anything like that, but, it's, again, weight, height, all that, like the archetype of what Josh Allen is.
Yeah. What were you going to say, Lee?
I was going to say, like, Will Levis is also kind of like, it's kind of like still there trying to like fight for his spot, but it's also kind of like he's telling you, like, I think last time I've seen him like in social media, like saying like he's still like better than everyone else. I'm like, the ego's there, but it's just, I'm like, if you can develop through Brian Dable, then.
Well, I was gonna say now that he brought up Joe Brady, the Bills might be the perfect spot for him because you have a quarterback who is sincere. I'm sure would give him everything that he knows back to Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
But you're never starting over me. Like, that's Josh Allen's a top 3 quarterback, if not a top 2 quarterback in this fucking league. You'll never start over me. But if you're coming here to be my backup and you have that might be the best spot for him because of the skill set. The running ability and the big ass arm will be the scout team shit would be really good for their defense. He just doesn't have it up here in the playmaking ability, but it might be beneficial for their defense to have somebody like this that can almost mirror what Josh Allen is. But then also Josh Allen giving back to an archetype of quarterback, kind of like who he is too. Like, I think you kind of need to find that parallel. There's no better parallel to Josh Allen than probably Anthony Richardson when we're talking about like small sample size. But like, if I was Joe Brady, I might entertain a trade for that just to be like, shit, there might be a lot of benefits to it. And if we could turn this dude around,
especially
we get compensation at the end of the day too for this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can agree with the Bills, especially, you know, after I just went on going about like, oh, you know, same archetype as Josh Allen. Because, you know, the Bills quarterback room right now is Allen, Josh Allen, Kyle Allen, and then Shane, however you say his name, Buchelli.
Buchelli, yeah.
Yeah, Buchelli. I think it's like, you know, you look at what Mitch Trubisky looked like. That was the best Mitch Trubisky had looked like in years. Granted, you know, there were only preseason and a few games when he stepped in for Josh Allen, but still, you know, that was kind of the best that he had looked in years. And if Josh Allen were to go down or miss like a game or two, who better to replicate, you know, the archetype, the style that he plays football than an Anthony Richardson? Falcons would just be a 100% panic move of the. I think I can still be a starter, Edwin. That and nobody wins in that situation.
He'd be
Kyle
in the
Pitts
UFL.
wins in that situation.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts might be the winner because it's a familiar face, but he'd be in the NFL. The UFL the next season, if that was to happen. I mean, that's just career suicide for Anthony Richardson. If I was his agent, I'd be pushing for the Bills. Because nothing will teach you like being up there with Josh Allen, knowing what it's like to be a quarterback, and then playing in that cold ass weather too. Like, all of that's going to be a lesson for Anthony Richardson. Yeah, you went from Florida to playing in a dome, dog. Like, it don't get no better than that shit. Like, let's just be honest. And then you got to play damn Jacksonville twice a year, and Tennessee twice a year. Like, come on, dog. And Texans, yeah. So you're playing in warm weather pretty much the whole fucking year.
Weather, pretty much the entire division.
Yeah. He might have a legit chance to start for the Browns this year. That's actually facts.
Yeah, no, I
Todd Monken might make him might make him a monster though. Let's hold up now.
I mean, I don't think he'll be there because I think he got
Yeah, Taylor Green.
I was about to say, and I think it would probably stick with Taylor Green than Anthony Richardson.
Yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I think Bills kind of work, especially if they make the trade this year. Granted, I think this is the last year of his contract. But you know, Bills make the trade this year. You're learning under Josh Allen for maybe a year or two, and by then you're 26. And again, let's look at the guys in the league now. Bo Nix, second year, AFC championship, well, AFC conference game technically. But, you know, he was 25 when he came into the league. Jaden Daniels was 25. So you're still relatively in the prime of your career. Spend 2 years learning under Josh Allen. It's not like you're an old 30-year-old, like, traveling man. You could still come in and be somebody for, like, Tampa, the Browns, probably still Minnesota at this point.
Yep.
Because, I don't know, because I think what the Colts they all try to do, I think they try to like give him like a mentor. I think they try to give him Joe Flacco. Who's the other quarterback? I think it was that before Matt Ryan was here or no?
Oh shit, I forgot about Matt Ryan was there. Oh
yeah, Matt Ryan. And then you also got
shell himself by the time he got there.
Yeah, and Joe Flacco, remember when he was with the Colts? He was an asshole, bro. He was like, I am not here. I'm here to fucking be the starter.
I'm here to win still, bro.
So that was already a career move for Anthony Richardson right there, trying to even ask this dude a question. Who the fuck is you, homie?
Yeah, I don't think Joe Flacco was a good mentor. I think especially that like
He came out and said that he wasn't gonna. He pretty much said, "No, I'm not mentoring shit. I'm here to
AR
win
was due
games."
from the start, man. Good chunk of it his fault, but there were also some things again like Joe Flacco just did not help.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Carson Wentz was on the damn Colts. How about Seattle? Because most of the fan base has already given up on Milroe. That's crazy. I mean, I don't know. That's crazy.
I don't know, man. I think if somebody like panics or whatever, if a quarterback gets injured, and they're like, we got to make a trade, and they'd look at Milroe's way. Didn't have to play at all for Seattle his first year.
Shit, don't let
Learn under
Jalen
Sam
Milroe.
Darnold.
No, don't let him go under Jalen Hurts, bro. Because that'll be the best move for him, bro. I mean, holy
got too many damn quarterbacks, bro.
But holy shit, that just would not be a great move by the Seattle Seahawks if they were to trade Jalen Milroe. Because if I'm the Eagles, I'm like, we want Jalen right now.
I want Jalen backing up Jalen, bro.
Yeah,
Cole
we
Payton,
need.
you could stay as QB 3 or 4.
Yep. All right, we beat that topic.
Shout out to Cole Payton.
Beat that topic to death, man. You had an interesting one, Sora. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of all the moves, and I mentioned a couple of times this show about if Baker is gone. Baker's very much been professional with this. He set a deadline for training camp or until the start of training camp to get a new deal done. It didn't, so he was like, I'm only going to bring it up this one time, and then we're just going to continue moving on. Baker Mayfield wanted a long-term contract with the Tampa Bay Bucks. He says that he feels that he has given, he has shown that he can be a franchise quarterback for this team.
Giving everything I got, man.
Yeah, pretty much. He's given everything that he can, and we've seen, Tampa Bay just kind of crumble. They've kept Todd Bowles for 2 years too many. Vita Vea wants out. Mike Evans is gone. Levante David retires. But everybody's leaving, ever since Tom Brady joined. I think Antoine Winfield was the last Pro Bowler that was drafted. So, potentially last year of Baker as the quarterback for Tampa Bay. Willing to bet when the NFL free agency comes out and they do the top 101, Baker Mayfield's going to be right there at number 1 as the top free agent. Kyler Murray's already been projected as the starter, not projected, has been announced as the starter for the Minnesota Vikings. He's on a 1-year deal. So, gentlemen, the question that I want to ask is, say this experiment fails of Kyler Murray. Say, we're going to open up this door. Kyler Murray fails. He gets benched halfway through the season. They throw in JJ. He still doesn't develop properly. He still doesn't show that he can be that guy. Do they entice a Baker Mayfield signing then on a long-term deal, because Baker Mayfield's not going to come on anything short than probably 3 years, and roll with Baker Mayfield as QB1 for the foreseeable future?
Unless you have something leaking out, I've been pondering about this for a minute.
I don't know, because is either like a massive rebuild, or because everything seems to like falling apart, and especially like kind of like
in Tampa.
Yeah, in Tampa,
yes,
everything seems to
100%.
Because they're all if they have
my backyard's on fire right now, man. Ray J is raging right now.
if they haven't signed Baker now, is they're either looking at 2026 as a rebuild, and like as quarterback wise, and Baker Mayfield, I think is either like my best sense the Vikings or I'm not gonna lie, Arizona in preseason looks really good. And I feel like they're just one quarterback away of just getting back to the playoff and try to be an NFC championship. But
Arizona, you say?
Yeah, Arizona. I think they look really good in preseason. But overall, like, I don't know who else is like wanting Baker Mayfield.
I
Yeah.
think there are 4 doors that you can kind of look at this. Kyler Murray works out. Kyler Murray fails, but JJ McCarthy is pissed off and he works out. Both fail. Baker Mayfield comes in, or both failed, and they're picking high, and they draft a quarterback like Arch Manning or Dante Moore. And, the thing with the Bucs as well that's interesting, especially with, of the rebuild, is even in a rebuild, they're in the worst division in football, man. I've seen this meme go around, and it makes sense of it's like everybody being like, man, thank God our division sucks. Falcons, you already got Michael Penix pointing at Tua like, this is the guy? Him? All right. Jordyn Tyson, he's been injured. Chris Olave's had a history of injury. Is that going to stunt Tyler Shuck? And then, what? We're very confident in Bryce Young, obviously. We saw a lot in year 3, made major steps. But can he continue to improve that, or is he going to take a step backwards? Is it going to be a very, flip of a coin every week of what Bryce Young we're going to get?
Yeah. The thing is you know what you're getting with Baker, and
Absolutely.
I'm not necessarily sure. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not necessarily sure that a lot of teams that know where they're at right now, they really have to evaluate: can Baker really elevate us, or are we just going to be a 10 or 11 win team just skating by? Because I think Baker can be either one. He can get you over the hump if you got absolutely your shit is loaded, your defense is great, and you just need to make a couple plays. I think we can. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility of seeing Baker Mayfield hoist a Lombardi because of that. We've seen fucking the Ravens win with Trent Dilfer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's Trent Dilfer.
early weeks, let's not act like the Mayfield for MVP chants weren't happening early on in the season.
Dude, I'm going to tell you, Baker's the best quarterback to get you to the next level for your team, but has to go to a shitty team. That's the kind of quarterback that I think he is. I think he's like the most gatekeepy motherfucker that's out there at quarterback. For example, if the Raiders didn't draft Fernando Mendoza, Baker, if I was the Raiders, I would have been on the phone with the Buccaneers talking about, y'all got to extend him, but we'll pay him whatever the fuck he wants to come here. Because you know what? Baker's going to be competitive. Baker's going to demand everything out of everybody. And what you might see is, and I'd be willing to say this for the Raiders, I'd be like, he did that shit with the Browns, bro. He won a playoff game with the Browns because he had a chip on his shoulder. You need chippy quarterbacks like that to get your team to the next level. And then you draft a talented guy that can come over there and build up. I wouldn't mind to see him on the Jaguars, bro. To be honest, to back up Trevor Lawrence, I would love, dude, there'd be nothing more in the world that I would love than to see Baker Mayfield in a backup jersey on the sideline wearing 6, waiting for his fucking opportunity for Trevor Lawrence to fuck up to get our team to the damn Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's either it would be make or break psychologically for any quarterback that he goes to that thinks that they're at that level, because he knows that he'll break them in practice. He'll break them in the games.
Of who is it, the Undertaker that's just standing behind you, just staring you down.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind him coming back to Carolina too, being a backup for Bryce too, in case Bryce doesn't.
I don't see him being the backup. So then let me ask y'all this then. Both of y'all doing backup scenarios, just so we're all on the same page. Do you all see him as a franchise quarterback? Let's start with that.
I think he's got 2 or 3 more years to prove it. I'm being generous with that, Sora, to be honest with you. Because I'm looking at these teams. Did the Bears need a quarterback? No. Did the Bills need a quarterback? Broncos. Going back to the Browns would be fucking awesome to me. Actually, that's the team that he should go to.
That would be a
back
redemption
to the
story,
Browns
especially with
under Todd Monken, bro.
That would be really damn good.
What are we talking about? That's case closed.
I mean, isn't the Browns also kind of one quarterback away too? Because there's kind of so many. I think their defense is still at the top, even with Jared Verse there. And especially with all the new weapons and the whole refixation
Torque.
of the line too.
I didn't even see this.
I didn't even see that either. Yeah, I was gonna say Torque made an interesting point about KOC. We'll get to after this, but go ahead, Lincoln.
No, but also saying I think Browns is also like one QB away to get back into a playoff too.
Yeah. I mean, I totally trust that. And then there's a couple other teams that I think would be interesting. The Giants. Why?
We've already seen Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart is always in a damn medical tent. I'm sorry, it just is who he is, bro. It's built into his psyche. I don't know what it is between him and not sliding. Quarterbacks don't even slide anymore. They just fall on the ground. Like, you can't do that, brother.
They bounce.
Another interesting one, if you wanted a court, and I'm sorry that we're talking about a backer, bro, but I have to put it out there. Him on the Packers would be interesting too, because Lincoln, me and you've been talking a lot about in the DMs about just like, is Matthew Golden going to be good? Is Christian Watson really that great? No, but his PFF score is really good, and you said they're paying him off his PFF score. This shit was hilarious.
Whatever the PFS score is, at a couple zeros behind that.
But if you want Jordan Level to get to that next spot, and if not, then you got Baker Mayfield. But the other one that now that I'm thinking about, man, it's just like, again, it's another backup spot, but like, you need somebody to elevate this team. If CJ Stroud is not the guy, Baker Mayfield will come in there, bro, and be like,
maybe Super Bowl contenders.
Man, I got Nico, Jayden, Jalen Noel. I got all the tight ends in the world. I don't need a fucking offensive line. Fuck this shit, man. Let's just run this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'll make it work. I mean, that would be an interesting spot for him too, but I just think he's a gatekeeper. Would also
be pretty interesting. I mean, again, look at Jayden Daniel. All right, Torque. All right, buddy.
What the fuck, Torque?
Didn't even see it.
Your request has been denied.
Yeah. Somebody, mods, crack the skull. I'm sick of this man.
Nah, I mean, that'd be a good spot for him too, man. But I think there's so many Jayden Daniel apologists right now that like, you know what I told my wife?
Not to use anything related to 5.
Nah. Nope. I was getting my 5 pumps in regardless. Oh,
there are children watching.
Oh,
Stopped at 6 out of respect for JD.
Yeah.
Or stopped at 4, I should say.
6.
Canceled.
No, the thing with Jayden Daniels, you remember this moment that happened at Arizona State when his teammates trashed the fuck out of his locker?
Yes, bro. It all makes sense.
I told my wife, I was like, this shit we were bashing those dudes, man. But maybe they knew this dude is
they were on to something.
A fucking asshole.
It was like
he told us one thing and did another. Man, fuck this dude.
It was like when everybody kept saying, like, I wouldn't let Stephon Diggs date my sister. They all knew, bro, before we did.
I knew before y'all did.
Well, okay. Fair. However, I didn't know you at the time. But I mean, I think Dante, you and Torque hit it straight on the head, bro. I think the Browns make the perfect sense. It's a Cinderella story. It's revenge. It's a different regime. So, you've got Todd Monken. And again, everybody knows that this man, Baker Mayfield, hates Kevin Stefanski. How interesting, if he came back and won that Super Bowl for the Browns under Todd Monken, under a different regime, or even made it further than he ever did with Stefanski, all he would be talking about is like, it would be like Richard Sherman dunking on Crabtree in his post interview. It would be Mayfield doing that, but with Stefanski, bro.
He'd be a legend, bro. He'd be a Hall of Famer. They'll retire his fucking jersey after 1 year.
Oh, absolutely, bro. Yeah, nobody in Cleveland would be allowed to wear 6 ever again.
Like Bernie Kosar, who, man? Fuck him, man. Shout out to Bernie.
If he comes back to the Browns, I mean, he's just gonna piss off all the Sanders fans. It's just like,
no, who cares?
Sanders a
chance. I don't give a. But you know what? It would be hilarious. You think Baker's gonna give a shit? Man, Baker would use it. Oh my God, bro. They would have to do Hard Knocks that season. They would have to.
Up, bro. But, I mean, you saw how he acted against the one Seattle fan. He ran straight back to him and said, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
Like, bro, I dare somebody to hold a sign that says
But-
Shador over Baker or something if this scenario happens, because that's just he's gonna carry that all throughout the game, bro.
Hell
But all
yeah.
I know is all the Browns fans, they will probably back up Baker over.
I was about to
like,
say, Cleveland.
That's the last time they had success. Why
Yeah,
why
bro.
wouldn't why would and then especially with they got receipts now too.
Yeah.
They got receipts of like, okay, he went to Carolina, then he went to the Rams, learned under Sean McVay, then he went to the Buccaneers, dealt with that whole change, literally balled out for years. Oh yeah, this is a different Baker. He come in here not to give a fuck.
This is a more motivated, mature, but also pissed off Baker.
Yeah, but Baker would come into that training camp and be like, "Yeah, we gonna have to earn every rep." Who's you? I'm Shador Sanders. I don't know who the fuck you are. Like, I mean, that's how Baker would be.
Straight up what he said to Quinyon Mitchell, bro. He's like, "Who the fuck are you, bro?"
He said, "Turn around so I can see your name."
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they need, bro, because it's a circus right now. And shout out to Todd Monken. He's trying to deal with it the best. And I gave Kevin Stefanski credit last year. I don't think people gave him enough credit. He tried to make that thing not a circus. It's just the Shador fans, man, are just so suffocating
Yeah.
that
also,
it's impossible to find your head above water.
It's also just such a complete the circus, the clown show. You put it perfectly because you've got Shador, all of his antics, and then on top of that, obviously, right now it seems to be the mix of Deshaun Watson and Shador. As much as we all love Dylan Gabriel, it seems to be the reality is Deshaun Watson and.
But
Shador.
they actually ran an RPO with Dylan Gabriel, which he was doing in college. I watched the tape the other day. I was like, "What the fuck?"
It's unbelievable.
Please.
But so it's like you've got the Shador fans, and then of course you got all the allegations against Deshaun. But it's like you look at it now, and it's like even with those allegations, probably right now the quarterback give you best success is Deshaun. So the entire thing is a circus for whoever was over there. Let it be Bill Belichick over there. It would be a circus even for him.
I think Deshaun needed to be in a situation with no distractions. And I think he would have been good this year. I think he's the opposite. Like, as quiet as things are for Deshaun, that he can just work and know that, like, he's getting all the reps possible. I think Deshaun would be, I don't want to say he would be back 2020 Deshaun. That Deshaun Watson was fucking, he should have won goddamn MVP that year. But I don't think he'll get back to that stage. But I think without less noise in that quarterback room, he'll be fine. But right now, it's just Shador and me splitting reps, and then I got to worry about Taylon, and then Dylan's in here too, and Dylan's just like, fuck, I'm trying to get my reps. It's just too much shit going on.
Yeah, I think a lot of which they've even broken their own schedule, but they had it to where it's like one day Deshaun gets the ones, and then Shador gets the ones, and then
Shador's going to be starting next week.
Yeah, and but even in training camp, they've broken that schedule where there have been multiple days that Deshaun has gotten the ones.
Yeah.
So, I think that does help a little bit with his psyche, but I don't know. I think we kind of hit the nail in the coffin of Baker being on the move to Cleveland would work wonders. Hell, it worked for LeBron. Be the football LeBron,
Hey, it is what it is, man. Let's head over to the next one.
Yeah. I was going to say, though, I do think Torque raised an important question. We've even talked about it for a little bit, and I kind of want to ask this just as a quick little 5-minute tangent. If Kyler Murray fails and JJ McCarthy doesn't doesn't look any better, is KLC out the door?
Kelsey's done this year if they don't win. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I mean, what
they would have to make the playoffs and him win the wild card game for him to stay.
I was gonna say, what justifies Kevin O'Connell keeping his job?
Going undefeated.
All right. I'm about saying, Linky, you got a more realistic one?
Probably NFC Championship. Make it.
You think all the way to the NFC Championship?
Just to keep the job.
I mean, I'm not. I totally agree with you, dog. This is what it is. How the fuck do I find my ISO on this shit?
I think you gotta have to manually change it. But I got mine. So.
I got it. Oh, there it is. Okay. You keep talking, bro. Okay.
No, I was just gonna say, I think definitely if they miss the playoffs, it's game over. Like they for sure gotta win it because again, you don't know. Caleb Williams kind of still a coin flip this early on in his career. Jordan Love, he's good. And then the Lions have kind of they've missed their Super Bowl window. The Lions are kind of just trying to salvage at this point, and they even did better than the Lions this previous year with the entire quarterback carousel: McCarthy, Max Bomer, like Carson Wentz, all that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think this is the best Kyler Murray has been set up since he's had prime DeAndre Hopkins. That's what we saw when Kyler looked his best. He had that confidence. He had that trust. Again, I go to the throwing in triple coverage against the Bills. Straight to DeAndre Hopkins. That wins them the game. That same game against the Bills, there's a shot where literally the camera captures Kyler Murray. He smiles because he sees DeAndre Hopkins down the field, and he has the confidence that his receiver can catch it, and also that he's going to be able to make that throw. And again, his confidence and the team around him kind of got shattered after that wild card game against the Rams a few years back. But I think, this is the most set that he's been. Kyler Murray should succeed under the Vikings, and they should be able to make the playoffs. It's just more so going to be, can Kevin O'Connell get it done? I told my dad this. I was like, which I don't know if it'll happen, obviously, with the past legal troubles and, him wanting to do the lawsuit. But I was like, I could see this being like a Kyle Whittingham situation. KOC's gone. Brian Flores steps up, takes the head coach job.
Yep.
I mean, one thing I want to say about
he's done his waiting. It's his time.
I think because Torque. He did win. I think did he make it to the conference finals with Sam Darnold?
No, that was Mike Zimmer. I believe.
Wild card.
Oh, wild card. Okay.
I believe the last time they made it far was Mike Zimmer when the Minnesota Miracle happened.
Yeah, 2017 against the Eagles was when they made it to the last time they made it to the conference championship game.
Yeah, I believe that was. Let me see.
It was Mike Zimmer.
Yep. So,
2017, almost 10 years.
Man, it's crazy. All right, let's get to the next thing, man. I got an interesting video that we can watch on Jordan Tyson's injury too, but yeah, it's crazy. It's insane. Actually, let's just go ahead and bring that video.
Oh, I didn't know we had videos.
Hold on. So this is Dr. What's his name?
Dr. Feelgood?
Not Mike Garofalo. Hold on. Jesse Morse. Follow him on Twitter, man. But yeah. This is what he had to say about the the injury. As I try to get my thing right here.
The greatest predictor of future injury is past injury. Jordyn Tyson, after tearing his ACL several years ago, was able to stay pretty healthy until last year, where he suffered both a right hamstring strain and a left hamstring strain. It's bothered him so much so that for 4 months, this lingered through January, into his normal pro day, into the combine, which is basically March, and eventually he had to do a separate pro day just for who ended up being the Saints and whoever else was there. The Saints felt so comfortable with his talent and not overly concerned about his hamstring, despite him missing basically the previous 6 months with some type of hamstring issue, that he was drafted in a top 10 pick. They then babied him throughout the entire rest of the preseason, offseason, minicamp, everything. And then within 10 days of the preseason, he strains his hamstring. And now we find out he's out 2 months, which tells me this is likely a grade 2 hamstring strain. And hopefully they figure out what's going on, put some stem cells in there, address his hips, address compensation patterns, figure out biomechanics, give him some Nordic curls and a bunch of other stuff that potentially can help him. This is awful news, potentially great news for Chris Olave's stock, but I expect Jordyn Tyson, super talented, to end up plummeting as a result. I might not mind him later in the year, but unfortunate injury, just awful injury. Could be the number one wide receiver in this draft, but not this year. Unfortunate injury. I'll give you more when we know more.
All right, so a lot of people wanted to go in and say that we were idiots for having him at number 6 in our top 10. I first want to address that.
Right.
Who's laughing now? I mean, we told you guys, like, super talented. Nobody is saying that he's not, but I can't trust the dude, man. Even when y'all saw his little workout at the pro day, I'm like, why is he even stepping like that? It just doesn't look natural in his route. Where he's going to keep aggravating this hamstring injury that he dealt with 3 times, this past year until he had to sit out. And now he's out for 2 months. Yeah, Chris Olave stock, Devon Vele stock just went through the roof for sure. I don't think this is slowing down Tyler Shuck and what this offense is going to be able to do. Because guess what? There's another guy that can catch the ball in the backfield. Travis Etienne. So,
this helps all A-Chain and Kamara fantasy owners, bro.
As a Jaguars fan.
Yeah, I know.
I'm sad. Look at what you think, man.
I think they should have just kept waiting. I think they gave him the green light on that training camp, and I think that was a bad idea. And I think they should have took the Marshawn Lloyd. Well, I wish Jordyn Tyson took the Marshawn Lloyd route, where Marshawn Lloyd was kind of keep getting injured, and he's just what the fuck is going on with my body? went to a specialist, and Jim yo, this is why you're doing this, is causing your soft tissues breaking down. And I'm just
you just get that Mr. Miyagi treatment.
If you've been injured for 6 months, and just go seek a specialist, because it's just reason why I think you guys ranked them in 6, and best player is the best availability.
Yep.
It was.
It just
I think we
is.
even literally said in the rating or in the ranking. But of course, I guarantee you people just saw the screenshot, didn't actually listen to it. But we literally said he has the potential to be the number 1 receiver in this class if he didn't have this long injury list. Because, I mean, let's go through. In 2022, he had the ACL, MCL, and PCL injury at Colorado, which caused him to miss, the remainder of the 2022 season, pretty much the entirety of the 2023 season. I think it was he played... Yeah, right here. He's got 3 games in 2023. Did not record a single reception. 2024 at Arizona State, he had the collarbone, and then 2025 was really kind of the first hamstring warning. And again, Lincoln, I think you kind of hit the nail on the coffin of he shouldn't have gotten greenlit. He should have waited a bit longer or done exactly what Marshawn Lloyd did. Even though they knew about the hamstring, they tried their best to manage the workload. They being New Orleans tried their best to manage his workload as best as they could. They tried to hold him back. Even Kellen Moore said he'll be ready to go. We'll just build him up as we go. And then again, just it got re-aggravated, and that kind of affects the player in him of you've got the burst aggression. That's all stuff that's going to work your hamstrings.
Mm-hmm.
So it's unfortunate that it's 2 months that he's going to be out. You're looking at what, maybe the first six weeks, week 1 through 5 maybe. But I mean, exactly with what you said, Devon Vele stock's going to go straight up. And I think kind of another interesting one is in the same draft class of Bryce Lane. I don't know. I feel like he might be able to be a bit of a rotational piece to come in during these first couple of weeks. But again, I think you're going to see a lot of A-Chain and Alvin Kamara kind of step up. You just got to hope that Chris Olave also keeps a clean bill of health at this rate. Because both of those guys, your wide receiver 1 and 2, very explosive players, but also very high at missing games.
Well, we can't forget about, Juwan Johnson, who is a favorite target of Tyler Shuck and one of his former teammates in college as well, right? And then they bring in, Oscar Delp as well. So you have to account for that. But yeah, I mean, there's plenty of, they still are in love with Bub memes for whatever reason. But Barry Brown is one guy that's been on everybody's radar this offseason as well. So I don't know. I think you look at life that is not including Jordyn Tyson, Chris Olave, and Devon Vele step up to the plate. Maybe some of these other guys, like you said, Bryce Lance now looks like one of the smartest moves of all time in this draft because of this. And I don't think people are talking about it enough. So, but again, what all the reports are saying is the connection between Chris Olave and Tyler Shuck is even more strong. So it's like,
and that was
how many times was Jordyn Tyson going to get thrown the ball anyways? So
that was going to be one of the. I had 2 questions, linked to this target, and one of them was going to be: does this, how much do you think this affects the development of not the development, but the progression of year 2 of Tyler Shuck?
Not at all. He's got a lot of targets that he's already familiar with that were there last year.
And again, I think 2 damn good running backs, which are going to tremendously take a load off of his workload.
And the offensive line is really good, man. Like Talise Fuaga, Cesar Ruiz, Eric McCoy, our boy Kelvin Banks, David Edwards comes over from Buffalo. This team is so underratedly solid, and people are not talking about it enough. Especially on the offensive side,
especially with the weak division. Again, it's the meme of every team being like, man, thank God that everybody in my division sucks, because everybody's got a certain flaw, man. And right now it's the health of Jordyn Tyson, and before it was the health of Chris Olave.
Yep.
And kind of my second question is, and I feel like I know the answer.
It's funny that. Sorry to cut you off, but it's funny that you say that that we're talking about this, because there was a clip that was shown about 40 minutes ago of Chris Olave absolutely destroying Caleb Downs on a catch. And then later again for a touchdown on Caleb Downs. So,
damn, son.
Tyler Shuck and him might be all right.
Right? Yeah. Get your Tyler Shuck quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And I want to ask, obviously, all y'all on the panel here, everybody in the chat right now. And again, I feel like I know the answers, but do you, now knowing that already before week 1 even starts, Jordyn Tyson is going to miss 2 months, do you think that this was a whiff of a pick at the 8th overall? That they should have gone elsewhere, or maybe even traded back and tried to get Tyson? Or are you still firmly confident that Jordyn Tyson at 8 was the right pick?
Go ahead, Lincoln.
I don't know, because I think, for me, I thought that they were gonna draft Mansour Delane before the Chief traded up. But overall, I think this was a whiff of a pick, because I think Mansour Delane was top of their list, maybe. But who knows? But I didn't know that the Chief traded up because they know that Mansour Delane was gonna get taken, whoever's under them, under the 6th pick.
Man, I mean, it's tough, because nothing says I trust my quarterback more than drafting another weapon for him. But that's exactly what the Jaguars did too, so I can't really look too much. I think Tyler Shuck and Trevor Lawrence are totally different players too. Damn. The parallels are insane. They came out of high school together. They're in the same class. Tyler Shuck and Trevor Lawrence. Just to put that in perspective for you guys.
Right. Yeah.
Crazy. if Jordyn Tyson was going to get picked up by somebody in the first round, it was just who was going to take the flyer on.
Who was going to take the risk?
So when you look at it from that prism, it's like, okay, who was going to be the one that was going to fall on their sword to get the guy? He wasn't making it to the second round. I don't even think he was making it to the later half of the first. So you really can't blame the Saints for doing what they did. I mean, where else were they going to go? Yeah, Mansour Delaney, we've had that conversation before, just bringing them back to town. But
yeah,
they trust Kool-Aid and I forgot the homie out opposite him, but they trust those guys, right? Quincy Riley from Louisville, like they trust those guys.
Quincy.
they trust those guys, and they got better throughout the season. So what they had taken a flyer on Mansour, I mean, I would have done it somewhere else, but it's hard to say because Kellen Moore is an offensive guy too, and if whatever they were impressed by, they were impressed by. But now it's kind of like, all right, I mean, we just got to deal with the next 2 months being without Jordyn Tyson. And to me, if I was Kellen Moore, I'd be like, yeah, they're giving you a 2-month timetable, but we are doctoring this hamstring until it's 1,000% ready to go, because we know that your talent is there. You've been killing it in camp. You don't play with gloves. Everybody's heard all the things. Everybody knows that he's a hell of a player. But do you want this to be OBJ, where it's been like, yeah, he had all this high talent, but then constantly got hurt because he just always rushed himself back? Or do we want this to be a guy that like totally took care of all of his injuries right away as a young player, and we got a 8-year wide receiver that's 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards, 10 touchdowns, 12 touchdowns, and barely ever gets hurt? Because they already did it with, they just did it with Chris Olave, and he had his first healthy season.
Mm-hmm.
But they told Chris Olave, sit your ass down and make sure you get healed up.
Yeah, heal up, bro.
So maybe they thought in that aspect.
You are our number one. Heal up.
Maybe they thought in that aspect it was like maybe where the organization to really like see where he's at. Nah, didn't work out. Now you really gonna have to nurse this thing.
Yeah,
it
and
sucks.
I think you kind of make a great point there. Of we've already seen this happen with Chris Olave,
and the dude had over 100 catches this year.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. And I think that's kind of, if anybody were to be able to handle this situation, the Saints are the correct team. I think it's kind of, I feel like, not as much of a conversation now, since he's also dealing with a small little nagging injury. But, I guess the potential of, would you have taken Mekhi Lemon here, who is pretty much doing exactly with what you have said now. He's not really, Nick Sirianni's like, you're not practicing much, bro. Just go through light work, like little throws with Jalen after practice. And it's just like, we're going to get you ready for week 1, man. We're not risking it being a longevity.
Yeah. I mean, you can't. It's just too risky where everything is for right now. And yeah, it just is what it is, man. My man Omari's in the chat. He said the Tyson injury hurts, but it shouldn't surprise anyone. Yep. What's good, Dante? My condolences to you about the old channel, but glad to see you guys going strong, not letting this shitty situation knock you off. Oh, hell no, bro. Hell no, brother. We are here. This is, this is why if we're going to start brand new, then we're going to start episode 1. Nobody needs to know. We always got the other channel.
It's been a reboot.
The older channel is an archive now. We can always look back on all the old times, but yeah, much mature things.
Maybe one day the YouTube gods will smile and fix their crap, but for now,
yeah, maybe they will, but I'm not focused on that. I'm focused on these 2 channels. Yeah, if you guys didn't know, head over to the Gridiron Apex (CFB), which is our college football channel, which will be live right after this. I mean, this is not surprising. Jordyn Tyson is who he is. It is what it is, and I hope that the Saints do right by him drafting. I think there's a responsibility for picking somebody at 6 twofold, 2 ways. That the player has to perform, but also the team has to get this player to at least to a good bill of health where they can perform. You're not doing yourself any favors by rushing this guy back and then him getting hurt. That falls back on the team at that point. You do right by him, draft him into 6 and saying, we don't need to rush you here. We believe in you. That's why we drafted you here. But this injury, we got to get this right. It's just only fair to, we're paying you this contract. It's only fair to both parties involved. So we got to get this thing going. That's just my thoughts on it, man. Like, I hate to see it. It sucks. We don't get to see Jordyn Tyson at the beginning of the season. We're going to see him in what? Week 6?
Maybe week 7.
So they're going to be a quarter way through the season.
It's going to suck for me because I drafted, like in my family league draft.
Oh, no!
On the 9th round. Not bad, though.
That's why you wait the week of kickoff.
We wait the week of kickoff every single year, brother. You don't have to worry about that shit. You get your redemption in our league. Because I couldn't imagine being in a fantasy league where people are drafting before preseason or on preseason.
Hey
to
guys,
me,
I
it's
just drafted
fucking stupid.
I just drafted Andrew Luck in the 4th round. What do you mean he retired?
Yeah. Week 1, announcing my retirement. Ah, fuck. Yeah. Imagine those people.
No.
Keenan Allen signs with the Colts, gentlemen. We talked about this a little bit earlier, but
Yeah.
what's the impact of Keenan Allen for in a nutshell here?
I mean, I think it works. He's already got familiarity with Shane Steichen.
Good point.
I think you kind of alluded to it earlier, and I think you were absolutely right. Alec Pierce is still wide receiver 1, but Keenan Allen is this veteran presence. He's been a wide receiver 1 in the past for multiple teams. I think, he gives you that presence that you had, or that veteran presence that you had with Michael Pittman. I think this is a bit of a step up. And then again, I think Josh Downs has kind of played for a pretty big year at wide receiver 3. More to help out Daniel Jones on his recovery back, man.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lincoln, because I got quite a bit to say on this.
To be honest, I just thought it was just going to be like he's filling in for Michael Pittman because I assume that they still want Josh Downs to be filling in a lot of slot snaps because
it is confusing, like just from that fact alone. Like,
so I'm just like
he's a slot guy.
Yeah, like why trade away like Michael Pittman? But I mean, Keenan Allen's a good pickup just to like fill in for Michael Pittman.
Keenan really hasn't slowed down.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, the last 5 seasons, 1,100 yards, 700 yards. He only played in 10 games. Played in 13 games, and he had 1,200 yards. Then played for the Bears, 15 games, 700 yards with all those receivers there. Then he played 17 games last season with the Chargers with the full wide receiver room. Still had over 700 yards. So, I mean, to me, if you're looking in free agency and you're like, man, I need a solid number 2 or number 3 on my roster, but a guy that could play like a number 2, Keenan Allen is the fucking move, dog. Like, this dude has not slowed down, man.
I mean,
I wouldn't be surprised if, like, I get what you're saying with Josh Downs. I wouldn't move him out the slot. Like, I just wouldn't. Let Keenan Allen just do his thing on the outside now.
Because I think you also look at it this way. I already mentioned the reunion with Shane Steichen, but we're also looking at Keenan Allen of he's 34. This is a 1-year deal. This is probably his last chance to get a ring. And before Daniel Jones' injury happened, the Colts were already like the best team in the AFC, maybe in the NFL, that they could have been primed for a Super Bowl run.
Yep.
This could also just be Keenan's last chance, and he knows that, and he knows that the Colts are probably the best team for him to go to. Again, Steichen. Before, the plague hit the Colts, they were going to make a Super Bowl run.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a great move to put a Band-Aid on this situation, to give Alec Pierce as much support. And if Alec Pierce is not ready to go, I think, to be honest, the Colts roster with Daniel Jones and obviously Jonathan Taylor's going to be a fucking beast again. We love Jonathan Taylor here, so no Jonathan Taylor in this slander in the chat. But Josh Downs, Anthony Gold, Ashton Doolin, like they got Deion Burks, like, what I'm saying? I want to see Deion Burks cook a little bit, but the one guy that we can trust, Tyler Warren is on this roster, second year Tyler Warren.
Yeah.
They're going to be fine, man. They're going to be fine without Alec if he's not ready to go. But Keenan Allen is just that much more of a whatchamacallit, like a safety blanket for that. And Nick Westbrook, everybody forgot about Nick Westbrook and how good he was with the Titans. Like, he's on this roster too. So, and their running back cores is pretty good. They picked up Seth McGowan in a draft. DJ Giddens and Ulysses Bentley from Ole Miss is there. Like, they're solid, man. Everybody knows about the offensive line. We don't need to worry about that.
Let's also I had to confirm real quick, but let's not forget good old Indianapolis legend Mo Alley Cox. All right, like,
man, fuck a Mo Alley Cox.
That man refuses to just go away.
It's a bane of my existence.
I know he is.
But shout out to the Colts, man. Shout out to Keenan Allen. Good to see him still preparing himself to be on a roster, man. I think this signing took way too long, but maybe. I mean, we've seen this stuff happens after week 1 of the preseason too, and it's like
this even happened after week 3 when we're like going into week 1.
I really think that he was at the top of a lot of people's list, and when he got signed to the Colts, a lot of people went, "Damn it!" He's a great player, man. Let's see him do great things. Last thing up, man. We can't get out of here, and Dana came at the right time, bro. Oof. What in the hell? We gotta talk about Jeremiah Love. Let me throw this little video up here. I'm gonna play one little segment. We gotta go back to our boy Dr. Jesse Morris here, man. Make sure I get him full screen.
The only doctor I trust.
Get him full screen like he's in an interview with us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We got to make a panel for him.
Yeah, Dr. Time. Jesse Morris joining us on the show.
Hey guys, Dr. Morris, injury experts.
Let me see if I get to the one part that he was talking about, so we don't have to sit through this whole thing.
Whoa, doctor, how are you doing that?
Now, the last one and the most concerning one, in my opinion, is actually the dreaded high ankle sprain, which actually is more so in the front of the shin, if we look down here, than it is in the ankle. Now, it wasn't obvious on a specific play that it happened. What would we look like going forward? If this is a mild lateral ankle sprain, he probably wouldn't miss any practice. So I can confidently say it's probably not that. If it's a moderate lateral ankle sprain, classic ankle sprain, he may miss a week or two, and it's not overly a big deal, although he will be at increased risk for re-injury. If this is a medial ankle sprain on the inside, we're looking at him missing the rest of the preseason and likely being ready for week 1. If this is the dreaded high ankle sprain, this is a bad start to his NFL career, because not only would it knock him out for the...
So, just for everybody, it is the high ankle sprain.
It is the dreaded high ankle
the rest of the preseason, but it potentially could linger into week 1 and will definitely zap explosiveness for the entirety of his rookie season. Yes, you heard that correctly. Even grade 1s suck. They're awful. So we don't have specifics yet, but I don't like the fact that they've already essentially ruled him out next week. That tells me this isn't, hey, a little nothing. They're concerned enough to say, hey, this is our prized new toy. We have plenty of depth, despite Benson being banged up with a knee injury, that we have to be careful with our guy. So with that being said, once we get clarity, I can give you more. But as of now, I'm a little hesitant. I didn't plan on drafting him based on the flow, although the talent is there. I don't know how much work Algier is going to get.
Talent
If
is
Benson's
definitely
going to be
there.
healthy, what they're doing in James Conner. If this team is going to be playing catch-up most of the game. Apparently, they know how to score points, which is good because they might have to score some if their defense is going to be giving up some.
So, shout out to Dr. Jesse Morse for giving us the doom and gloom on the injury. This sucks because that preseason debut was sensational, man. I literally looked at my wife after the first couple of runs. I said, he's a bad motherfucker, bro. I don't give a shit. And I know, I'll shout out to the Raiders fans. I'm sorry. The Mike Washington run just didn't impress me. I don't get impressed by big runs where everybody's blocking really, really well. Jack Besh put on a hell of a fucking block on that run.
I'm more impressed by Besh than anything.
Straight up. But more so, Jeremiah Love, almost every fucking run, bro. Dana, I'm jealous. He's a bad motherfucker, bro. There's no other way to put it. So if this
Every
is
run had purpose.
every run, bro. Every run. I'm almost like pissed off that this happened to him. But Tyler Algier being there softens the blow a little bit, and the rest of those running backs that are still in their running back room.
I was about to say, this is and obviously, not making fun of the injury whatsoever. Tyler Algier was like Thanos, man, where it was like, you could not live with your own failures. Where'd that bring you? Back to me.
Which is which sucks, but I just at the end of the day, I hate this for him. And if Dr. Jesse Morris is right about this high ankle sprain thing, that fucking sucks for him, bro. And again, Cardinals do right by him. You got 3 other running backs that you could put in fucking rotation at this point in time. Mm-hmm. Do what you did. You have bigger issues. Well, you have bigger issues right now than worrying about a running back because you got 3 decent ones. I think Tyler Algier is better than what people give him credit for, to be completely honest. But at the end of the day, you have to do right by Jeremiah Love, just like the Saints have to do right by Jordyn Tyson. Get him back healthy. Keep his confidence rolling. The dude's a bad motherfucker. This shit is not going to stop. He's going to be awesome. But you have to save him from himself, knowing that he's going to be the guy to represent your franchise for years to come. I just hope that he heals as quick as possible from this, with the caution of we're going to keep an eye on this thing and make sure that he is, but we're not going to rush him back. Your biggest concern is worrying about who your quarterback's going to be. Your biggest concern is that defensive line and linebacking core. Can those guys really be good this year? Your biggest concern is Marvin Harrison Jr. being everything that you drafted him to be, because he's the other guy. So you guys have a lot of question marks on your team. After that preseason game, I feel a lot better on how I even previously felt about the Cardinals. But when I heard the news from him, I had a pit in my stomach, man. I was like, damn, bro. I really want to see him run the rock. I'll take the bullet for him, but fuck, I work from home. Shit, give it to me, God. Give it to me. I sit in this fucking chair all day. So how y'all feel?
I can work on tools with only one foot. It's fine. I mean, obviously, yes, this whole thing sucked, especially after how Dr. Jesse mentioned, where it could take away his explosiveness for his rookie season. But even when we mentioned it in our running back rankings, and I even mentioned it earlier, this show is Jeremiah Love's the kind of player that if it's even as much of a nagging injury, he's going to take his time. He's not going to rush back. So while it is disappointing that, yes, he's probably going to miss week 1 and, maybe even longer, he's not going to rush himself back. He's going to wait till he is fully 1,000% completely healthy, to give all of us and, especially Cardinals Nation, the best version of himself that he can.
Oh, don't say that. Raiders fans will get pissed off if you put Nation after it.
Bite me. So I think you have that on top of it. And also, again, there's a long list of laundry for Cardinals fans to worry about. Yes, this adds on to it, but rushing back Jeremiah Love is not going to keep you competitive in this division. It's not going to keep you in the playoffs.
Nah.
Don't rush him back, man. And he's not going to allow himself to be rushed back. But hypothetically speaking, don't rush him back when y'all have got so much more stuff to worry about, man. That's pretty much all I got for Jeremiah Love.
What you got, Lincoln, to close us out, man?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that they're not gonna rush Jeremiah Love coming back. I think because I think they're pretty deep on the running back situation because they got Algier, Connor. I think Trey Benson. He might be traded.
He should. Trey Benson's fucking trash.
Get his ass. Who do they?
I'm a Florida State fan. I
still have
garbage.
What was that guy? Bam Knight.
Oh yeah, Bam Knight looks good too. And
Better than Trey Benson.
Kiner looks really good too. So I'm saying they don't really have to worry about the rushing Jeremiah Love back because he got all those boys coming they can run, but I'm pretty 100% sure I think Trey Benson's maybe the guy who's getting traded or James Conner.
Traded?
Playoffs?
That motherfucker getting the axe, bro.
Yeah,
man, what is it with us and hating guys with the last name of Benson, bro? Trey Benson, Malik Benson.
What? They both played at Florida State. And Malik's got some.
Yeah, what is it with? Let's. It's time to have It's time to start a conversation. What is it with Florida State and Benson's, bro? Explain yourself.
I don't know. I told Raiders fans that it's only an amount of time that he's gonna go crazy and be a bad teammate. I've warned them, but they love him right now.
Well, yeah, he had a catch in the preseason.
Apparently,
and got yards after the catch.
But I do say though, Mike Washington looks better than Caleb Johnson because I want to go look at Caleb Johnson.
Absolutely.
This man Caleb Johnson, bro, had 5 seconds as running back too.
When I watched Lou Nichols, I was like, Lou Nichols just taking his RB3 job. I don't think Caleb Johnson can recover.
Bro, Caleb Johnson is a whole pack of ass, bro. He's not. I told my wife, why did y'all draft him in the second round? There was some podcasters out there that barely watch college, but Caleb Johnson's my guy. Okay, well, you pick him up. I think Mike Washington is going to be one of those guys that was a blur as well. I mean, he's just really fast and he's big as shit, but he don't really use his size like that. He's not Caleb Johnson. I think he's better, but I can see him being a backup for a while and putting up a 300, 400 yard season, which is not bad. But Caleb Johnson is on the other side. He's a whole pack of ass, bro. I'm sorry to say that dude was in street clothes all last year as a second rounder. It was crazy.
Especially the way how I saw Lou Nichols played in that preseason, and he was just going off. Caleb Johnson's done.
As a second rounder, bro.
I think Lou Nichols also a 7th rounder too, but he was cut by the Eagles, and then went to Pittsburgh.
Caleb Johnson was a 2nd, not 7th.
No, I was saying Lou Nichols is a 7th rounder and got cut by the Eagles.
I was in the drive-thru in my drive-thru now. Cleaner did look good, and I think Kiner. Oh, it's
yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I say Kiner looks good too.
That's my boy from Cincinnati, bro. I caught on to him late. Yeah. Oh yeah. Trey Benson's gone. He's a whole pack of ass too. Go ahead, send him out. Benson's still just an individual drills. Connor the same. James Conner is way better. Both coming back from injury. Yeah, that's the only thing with James Conner. James Conner, and Chuba Hubbard are two. God, they are good running backs, but they're just always fucking hurt. God damn.
Shit is depressing.
I think I want to put James Conner and Chuba Hubbard and Jalen Warren as good running backs, but underappreciated.
Jalen Warren is only underappreciated.
Okay, I was about to throw Najee Harris in there, but then you said underappreciated.
Jalen Warren's only underappreciated because he had running backs in that team that he was always splitting carries with. I hope Jalen gets the fucking majority of that shit and tells everybody, I don't give a fuck about my size. That dude's he's a dog, bro. I remember him at Utah State. Dog. So, yeah, Caleb Johnson, get him the fuck out of here. 2-pack of ass, bro. Not good. But that's our show for this one, man. We're going to take a 10-minute before we get back. I'm going to go downstairs, kiss my wife, and pee and come back for the college football show.
Hopefully not that. Well, no, probably in that order. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure and see if the AC is on because midway through the show, I was like, I don't think this AC is on.
Oh yeah, my back of my neck is sweating like a motherfucker right now. I have no idea why. But yeah, Chase Basantes being out, it sucks, man. That one sucks too. Yeah, the Cardinals are
same with
cursed.
who was it? Chargers center. What is his name?
Jake Slaughter?
No.
Nah, that's my boy.
That's my boy. But like,
The Chargers.
Who got injured today on the Chargers offensive line? Maybe it wasn't their center.
What, Tyler Biadasz?
Yes, thank you. I was like, his name is similar to that.
Yeah, Tyler Biadasz.
Yeah, he got injured today.
Damn, that sucks. Well, Jake Slaughter's my dog.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
On the Raiders, I think they drafted a center, and I think they moved him to left tackle.
Wait.
I think it was Zoom the third.
Trey Zoon, who never played any other position really like that in college,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
they're because they got Tyler Linderbaum there. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking.
And I'm also like kind of confused because, like, you drafted for Miami wise, they drafted Caden Proctor, and then they moved him to guard, and I was just like,
Don't fucking remind me, bro.
why?
Oh my!
They moved him to guard.
They traded up for this.
That's another one for the Cardinals.
Pie in Miami right now.
Caleb Proctor.
Damn shame.
Caleb Proctor for the Cardinals, man. We were so high on him, and he gets hurt too. What's up with that, man? Walter Nolan last year, now Caleb Proctor this year, Chase Basantes, fucking Jeremiah Love. I hate this. I hate your team. I hate the Cardinals, man. There's something going on.
Something's in the water, bro. We talking about the 49ers substation. What do the Cardinals have?
And them jerseys last year look like tortillas on the field.
Oh
bro.
my god, the fucking eggshell ones.
The tortillas, bro.
Oh my bad.
Tortillas.
Tortillas.
Hey man, appreciate everybody, man. NFL Rush episode 1. Make sure y'all roll over to the college football channel. We'll be running that Gridiron Apex (CFB). We'll see y'all over there in about 10 minutes. All right.